What is that? Have you
What
just
are
been
you
cooking?
reading?
Is that a pepper?
No, it's not a pepper shaker. Okay, no, it's just my magic flask. All right, have a sip
What's
of this.
magic about it?
It's magic because it holds water. Unlike any other, I like any other water bottles or flasks.
Well, water is the elixir of life. And I just want to give
I
a
know.
shout out to Sam, my friend Sam, who wrote this book. And I just ordered it. Not that I'm plugging the book or anything, but I just ordered my friend Sam's book. So there you go.
But why not? Let's plug your friend Sam's book.
I am plugging my friend Sam's book.
Congratulations there. But more importantly, had a sip of water. We're ready. And hello, everyone. Thank you so much. It's Dear Future Grandkids time. And I'm Jen, still in Singapore. And that's Ange. If you see that background, you would know she's not back in Hong Kong. She's still in the UK.
Still in my bedroom. In my childhood
Plugging
bedroom.
along, childhood bedroom. Can you imagine that? Unfortunately, Percy is away filming today, so he can't be with us. It's a really weird episode because I think this is only the second time that Ange and I will be doing the show without Percy.
It's so weird.
It's weird.
Isn't it, without
It's so weird. It's so weird.
I know.
So weird. Pers. Yeah, I know you're filming today, but we miss you, Pers. So see you back soon, okay?
Yeah, don't abandon us again, Percy. It's lonely. It doesn't feel the same about the Three Musketeers.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. So strange. But we got a good show this week, right, Ange?
Another great guest. Really, really fascinating for you. Yeah. So, Dear Future Grandkids, we are the show that asks a fascinating question. A fascinating guest. Big question. Percy, we need you. See, I can't do the intro, Percy, about you.
That's what happened when you're not around, Percy.
No, exactly. We just completely mess it up right from the beginning. Dear Future Grandkids is the show that asks a fascinating guest the big question: what would you say and show to your future grandkids? This week, we are building a video time capsule for a person of many musical and audio skills. She's a producer, a violinist, a string arranger, and someone who's as happy being in front on the stage as she is being behind the stage in the studio. As a child growing up in Singapore, she excelled on the violin, winning awards, which had led her to the prestigious Institute of Music, Berklee, at just the age of 16. While there, she fell in love with audio engineering, which opened up new musical avenues for her to explore. She's worked on audio posts for productions including the Disney Plus TV series She-Hulk, a visionary virtuoso, a creative chameleon, the master of many mediums, and the best part, she's just getting started. Welcome to Dear Future Grandkids, Myra Choo. Hey, Myra!
Hi!
Hello, Myra!
Thank you for having me. I'm good. How are you?
We're all
very
good.
Thank
yeah,
you.
we're just missing Percy, but so glad to have you on the show. And just let everyone know as well, you've just moved to Los Angeles, haven't you?
I have.
How long have you been there?
I've been here for 2 weeks, just over, like 2 days and 2 weeks. Yeah.
So 2 days and 2 weeks fresh from Singapore to LA.
No, so I went to Singapore and then I went back to Boston to collect my visa stuff. And then from Boston I came to LA.
Okay. So how's the move so far?
It's fine. My house has a couch that converts into a bed, which is nice.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like a mattress thing that like flips and does somersaults and becomes a flat.
Like a transformer.
Yeah, couch. I love that. So I have that and it's nice. It's good.
Wow.
And I can work, so it's good. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Living the Hollywood life. There you go.
The
glamorous Hollywood life. So, Myra, we're going to kick off with a few quick-fire questions for you now.
Okay.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
I would say I'm inquisitive, slightly lazy, and
Really? Okay.
slightly lazy, but also like I like to care for people too. So I think those three.
Wow,
That's
that's
not
a
3
combination.
words, but
Well, if being your version of lazy is to excel in the violin, to become an arranger, to become a producer, if that's the
Yeah.
version of lazy, I don't know what busy would look
Yeah,
like for you, Myra.
getting to Berkeley at the age of 16. So, oh wow, you are so
Yeah.
lazy. Just really pull up your socks. Pull up your socks, Myra.
Yeah, come
Oh,
on, Myra, get to it.
oh.
Myra, name us a guilty secret that you might have.
I eat a lot of instant ramen.
Oh,
Okay,
Myra,
so is it because you like it, or it's, I don't know,
you're
is
broke.
it necessity because you're just starting out working? You know?
It's both. I think okay, for one, I think instant ramen here, at least in the US, is not as cheap as if I were back in Singapore. So it's
Okay.
like I wouldn't say it's a very cheap hobby or food. But yeah, I just like the taste. I also specifically like very spicy and like creamy.
Do you dress it up? Do you dress up your ramen, or is it literally
My
just boiling
ramen.
water? Yeah.
It's usually just boiling water. So I like both the dry and the soup one. So I will change.
So you
Whatever I
don't
feel.
add don't add extras in, like, throw some veggies in there or egg, or some say with ramen as well to make it a little bit creamier. They actually put milk in it. You heard about that, right?
Really?
Yeah,
Milk?
they
Oh
put
yeah,
some
yeah.
milk in it.
I've
Yeah, they
definitely
do.
seen that. Yeah, Instagram has like been showing me too much ramen.
Yeah,
But I add cheese. Sometimes
Cheese?
on my dry ones.
yeah.
And
I've
yeah,
never tried it, but would you recommend that?
I
Is
highly
that the way?
recommend. I
Really?
highly
Okay.
recommend that one.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I also add like sometimes the spring onions, the long
Yeah.
Oh,
ones.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I do add
Yeah,
that.
that's gotta go. Okay, so cheese on dry ramen. All right, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a
I'm
go.
going to try it next time too, because I
Please do.
love instant noodles as well.
Same,
Oh, and you have to
same,
do that.
It's so
It's
good.
very
For
same.
me, I think everything's made better with spam. Just think
Y-
just anything
Mm,
that you put spam in is just extra good. So
Agree. Whether it's fried or just
half a can
dumpling
of
in. Yeah,
spam. Yeah.
yeah.
it's very good.
All right. Our next question for you. You wear many hats now, but what job did you want when you were a kid?
I wanted to be a vet, actually, for the longest time, from kindergarten to mid like 14, 15.
And is that why you have a dog behind you on the sofa there?
Like the soft toy. No, I guess so. I have a thing where like I like soft toys that are like the size of the real animal. So I guess
Wow, that is a soft, cuddly giant
That's
dog.
a puppy-sized golden retriever.
it
It's a
is.
soft toy in the background there.
I love it. But yes,
Yeah.
I wanted to be a vet.
Oh, wow. Wow. You've come a very different path. You picked a different path in the end from veterinary science. So, your job now, which is many. So when you tell someone you're a music producer or an arranger or an audio engineer, what parts of the job would they be surprised to hear that you do?
Mm, I think it will be the organizational side of things. Because a lot of times before we get to even start work on the music, there's a lot of organizing, filing the naming of things and like just installing the software. That takes most of the time of the job, I feel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. When I explained being in TV, what a data wrangler is and how critical that job is. So,
Yeah.
the data wrangler is the person, once you filmed, you pass the card to them and they
And then
transfer the
you
card to many different hard drives and other,
Right.
backups.
Yes.
And of course, that's quite often it's the intern's job to do that, or the assistant of the camera assistant of the camera assistant. But actually, if you think about it, that job is utterly critical. If someone loses that little card with all the footage that's been filmed,
that's
today,
it.
you're dead. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So it's one of the most important jobs, data wrangling, and it takes ages, and you better not skip a single step of it.
Yeah,
Very unglamorous, but very
definitely.
important.
Definitely. Like
Yeah,
even
pressure. Yeah.
sorry. You're
No,
gonna
no,
say?
no, no. Go on. No, so it's pressure when you're a data wrangler as well. And but then what about for you in terms of when you're performing? So let's just say on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being easy, I could do this in my sleep, and 10 being I need to tape my knees together to stop them from shaking. Now, how nervous do you get when you perform, or because you've been doing it for so long, there are no nerves?
I think there'll definitely be nerves, but so I have nerves before I start playing. I think once I start playing, I'm okay. But before I start playing, I'll get like tummy ache. I always get tummy ache before performing.
It's not the noodles. It's not the noodles
It's
with
not the
cheese.
noodles, it's
The
cheese.
spice is the cheese in the noodles. That's what happens.
Cheese.
Oh,
But-
I make sure to not eat the cheese noodles like 2 days for 2 days. Yeah.
So when does the nerves kind of go away? Like after the first note, or after a minute or so, or it depends.
Well, I clearly remember this like incident because I
Yeah.
think it was very memorable for me. I was still in primary school at the time, so that would be like P6, 12 years old. And then when I was 12, so it was in school, just a school performance, and it was Chinese New Year. So we were standing on the stage of school, like the school stage, but then the curtains were closed. So when the curtains were closed, we was all standing there already. But I was like really like, I was like, oh my goodness, I need to go to the toilet. Like I'm gonna die.
No.
I was like, I feel like I'm gonna die. Like, but at the same time, I was like, this is not the first time this has happened. I feel like I'm just being like that because I'm gonna play. But at the same time, I was like, I really need to go to the toilet. But I knew the curtain's gonna open in like 10 seconds. So I was like, I can't leave right now.
Yeah.
So I just stayed there. And I was like, oh no, like how am I gonna play? And then once the curtains open, like fully, like the stomach ache just like left. So
Right.
I think that's how like I respond to playing.
So
performing.
you've become so professional where it's showtime. You've got to perform.
I
Everything
guess.
you blank everything out, and then you just do it.
I guess so in a way. Yeah.
Nice.
But
Now
I also
then,
really enjoy it, so it's okay.
yeah, and of course that's really important. So do you have a performing tip that served you well?
I think changing any feelings of nervousness, like using that energy and converting it to like energy to perform. So instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, I feel like really nervous, being like, oh, I'm so hyped right now to play. I think that was something that like I think one of my previous like mentors or something mentioned before, and then it stuck with me since.
Oh, that's
Nice.
good.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I try and
'Cause,
imagine. I get very, very nervous public speaking or doing any kind of performance or just being in front of other humans. I get nervous. So I always imagine the butterflies in my stomach are forming a heart because they care. They wouldn't be there unless they cared, right? You wouldn't if you didn't care about your audience, you didn't care to make a good impression. You wouldn't have butterflies in your stomach. You wouldn't care at all, right? So I just imagine that these things in my stomach are forming this cute heart
that's
and they're
really
hugging
cute.
my knee, my lie that I tell myself to try and get through the day.
and also Ange needs to pee like 7 times before she goes on air filming Dear Future Grandkids.
Yeah.
She still gets nervous
before
till
every
today.
episode. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I get
50
nervous.
other
But
episodes, yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah, I do. Because I care.
Because she cares. Now, Myra, can you recall a moment where you were braver than you thought you could possibly be? Putting cheese in your ramen.
Yeah, that's a very brave move for sure. No, actually, I think it's very standard now. But I think it would be going to Berklee at 16.
Yes, of course.
I think that would be. I looking back at it now, I'm like, wow, I think that was quite brave. Looking back at it now, but at the time, I didn't feel like it was brave. So, yeah.
Really? You were scared?
Really?
You weren't thinking, how am I gonna go to the
No,
bank? Pay
that's
the-
that's the thing. People always ask me like, weren't you like scared or like wondering like, well, what are you gonna do? I was like, maybe I was too young to like comprehend that like it
Wow,
was.
you're
But you
that
were,
young.
but you were leaving home. You're not going to live with your parents. I mean, that's huge at 16.
I think so. I don't know. I
She's
don't
so
know
calm
what.
about it. It's like, yeah, okay.
You were clearly very excited then. You really
I
wanted to go.
yeah, I wanted to go. I think half of me wanted to go, half of me didn't want to go because I had
Oh,
just gotten into a school that I really liked for like the first time. So I didn't really want to leave Singapore, but I felt like I needed to also because if I wanted to do music, I had to go. Um so yeah. I mean also I
Wow,
want to give like a lot of credit to my parents because
it's these risks that you.
before moving there before even applying to Berklee, I managed to check out the area before. So maybe having that prior
okay.
like
Yeah.
it made me like less scared. Like I knew how it looked like and
So
everything.
you were not going in stone cold. You managed to check the place out, the school itself, and in
Yeah.
lieu of if the possibility of moving there.
Yeah.
That's really a good way to approach it. And yeah,
Yeah, I think that's like a big reason why.
yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And
Well,
that
it's paid
means
off
yeah.
clearly for you. It was a great decision for you. So,
Yeah.
Myra, now we're very nosy here on Dear Future Grandkids, as you can tell. So we're wondering if you can go and I know you've only been in your place for 2 weeks, so hopefully it isn't all cluttered yet and it's super tidy. But we're wondering if you can go and fetch 2 treasures that mean something to you, either from your work and your career, and show it to us.
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
And she's going to be a packet of ramen and then a packet of cheese.
I would take that.
That's very essential for work.
That is essential. No, I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it.
I think the first one I would like to show is this.
What
So
is that?
so this is a this is a tiny amplifier.
Oh,
Which I
okay.
use for my electric violin. I have a proper bag for it now, but previously I just brought it around with like in a cloth bag.
Okay.
I think
So, how much does one
yeah.
of those cost? And is it a really fancy model or is it very
So
basic?
I don't really remember how much it cost because I got it. The only reason I got it was because it was like heavily discounted
Ah,
at the time. But the story behind this and my electric violin, but this just showing this
Yep.
is because I was wondering whether I should get my electric violin. That it was my second year at Berklee, so it
Okay.
was during COVID, and I was like, I'm wondering if I should like explore this electric violin world. And it was a big thing for me because growing up like in classical, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna play electric violin. Like it sounds like I don't like how it sounds
Yeah.
and everything.
You're a purist at that time, were you?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like no. But then I was so I was really at two minds on whether to get the electric violin and this amp. Um but because it was so heavily discounted, I was like, okay, I might as well give
can't
it.
resist a
I was like,
bargain.
I might as well
Fair
give it
enough.
a
Fair
shot.
enough.
Yeah, and it has paid off so much. Like, I
Oh,
think
you've had a lot of use. You've used
yeah,
it a lot.
which is
Yeah.
why I'm showing it. Like, because I didn't expect it at all, but like this, like getting this and like trying something new, like opened up a lot of new opportunities. So
Fantastic.
yeah, so this is one, and then the
And
other one would be. I think the other one would be these headphones actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you
because
had them and what kind of headphones they are? Yeah.
These headphones are Grado headphones. They are so fancy. They are handmade in New York.
what?
Wow.
For your
Really?
ears?
Not for my ears, but they're just handmade, and
Okay.
so they're open back, which means like air can come through and can go out. So if you see, it's like
Yeah.
spongy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So why it's my treasure, it's because I work on the go all the time. And like, for example, now when moving and everything, don't have speakers. A lot of times, actually, I'm in spaces like small rooms where like having speakers isn't that great of an idea because just sound wise, it's not good. So these have been like a lifesaver for me. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Did
Nice.
not know that sort of thing, that there were handcrafted headphones
Yeah,
out there.
that's air in and makes it comfortable, but yet you can hear it. So two very essential items, and also very practical, that has enhanced your career. Right, but Myra, okay, we like your setup at the moment. It looks really nice, right? But I know you just moved in. It's so clean. There's no posters on the walls or anything else. But I'm sure, I mean, there's like a corner of shame somewhere in your flat right now. Do
Yeah.
you want to just show us? You want to prove it to us that you're just normal like the rest of us, that you've got a dirty
I'm
corner of shame.
extremely normal. Yes.
Packets of ramen everywhere.
Ooh, that is a big bag of cables.
Yeah. So this is my bag of cables, and then
It's pretty neat. It's all in one
No,
bag. You know
no.
where to find it. No.
As an engineer, this is very embarrassing. I have all my different cables, everything all in this one tiny bag. And okay, the key is that they are not coiled properly. They are very messy. They're everywhere.
Ooh.
So like I'm not a professional when you see this bag.
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna
have
be
to
judged.
coil. The one thing I've
Yeah.
learned being in TV
Yeah.
is
You gotta
how
coil.
irritated bosses get and technical bosses get when you don't coil your cables properly,
Okay.
because it messes
Yeah.
them all up. And these cables are
Yeah.
not cheap, right?
Yeah. In
Yeah.
Berklee, you get suspended, like in the studios.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at school. Like if you don't coil your cables properly, they just like suspend you for like 2 weeks and you can't use the studios.
Well, I think it's fair because you got to respect
Wow.
the equipment, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Sweet.
first time I worked with a friend of ours that Jen knows really well called Seal Bowl. For the first time I worked with him, and he's a producer and director, he had me just coiling cables for a good first hour of me
Really?
knowing him. And
What?
he does that to all his interns. He does it to anyone who's starting out working for the first time, because if you can't get the basics right, and which is organized, like you said, Maura, which is basic organization and respect for the tools, then you have no business being in our business. That's his theory, right? So it's a discipline thing. Yeah. And it's also to understand that it's money, that these tools aren't, you've got to treat all your tools as treasures because they're money. They're worth a lot of money and they produce a lot of money. So it's all about, it's kind of wax on, wax off. It's this philosophy of you got to treat your cables well, and then everything else you'll treat well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a wax on, wax off analogy there. Now, quick, I know Myra's still in the early 20s. Myra, where's that from? Do you know?
No.
Wax on, wax off.
No.
A famous movie from the mid 80s.
I'm
No?
so sorry. No.
Have you heard of the movie called The Karate Kid?
Yes.
Yeah,
No, but
because
the original
Kai, right?
one.
Oh
Yeah.
no, not the original one.
No. Have you heard of Ralph Macchio? No.
No.
Mr. Miyagi?
No.
Okay. Welcome to Dear Future Grandkids, the Generation Gap edition. It's okay, Myra, and everyone watching, if you don't know it, just Google it and you know what we mean by
Wax
the
on,
wax
wax
off
off
moment. Yeah.
It's about
It's a moment
discipline.
of,
Discipline.
Yeah, correct.
It's about the small things are the big things at the end of the day. Now, Myra, I know when we were talking to you during the pre-interview,
Yes.
the pandemic was a crazy time for everyone, but for you, 2021 was even weirder than most because you ended up doing some strange things in Singapore, right? 2021.
I did, yes. 2021 summer, I was in Singapore, and I interned at a studio at the time. It's called Snakeweed. Shout out to Leonard and Josh, who are running the studio. But and they gave me lots of great opportunities there,
including
playing for Wormrot which is a Singapore-based grindcore band, and
And
they
what is grindcore for anyone
To
who
the
might not know that
uninitiated, yeah.
genre?
What is grindcore?
so it's the name itself. Like, I think if you imagine grind as like very intense, right? So imagine like metal, but very intense and like core. I'm not the one to actually be explaining this because I'm not like in the scene. I do know that they
Mhm.
have like a lot of specific, like genre specific, like, oh, this is how, like, the instrumentation should be this. It's like classical where like they have like some genre specific stuff too, which I'm not that familiar with. But yeah, I managed to play with them, and please check out their music and
Yeah,
you'll understand.
Yeah, well, since you told me
Yeah.
about Wormrot, obviously I've Googled them and listened to some tracks, and it's really virtuoso. It's so technical and really brilliant. And
Mm,
there's only a few of you in the band, but the music is so deep and many layers. It
yeah.
must be really intense recording experience.
Yeah, I think so. Before I recorded violin for them, I was the recording engineer for them. And it was funny because the first day they came in to record in the studio was my first day as an intern.
No
So
way.
so my boss looked at me. He was like, "Are you scared? Like, are you intimidated?" And again, with my like blurness and like I have no idea what's happening, I'm not scared again. Um, but yeah, so I was very impressed because they were very virtuosic. I think if you listen to the drum beats as well, like
It's amazing.
it's amazing, and like you can't imagine like that's being played by a human, but I
Yeah.
can guarantee you that it's 100% human because I saw them playing it live and like recording it. And I remember during the recording process, they're so like meticulous on, even though it sounds like so much, like they are so meticulous on what they want. So they would be running in and out of the recording booth to listen and then record, listen and record, because they felt like if they just listen to it on headphones, they're like, it's not clear enough or good enough. So it's
Wow.
like the dedication was really very high. I was very impressed. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we have some video here. So we've got a bit of you performing violin on Wormrot's track, Glass Shards, and we have a little bit of behind the scenes as well. So let's roll it. Listen to that violin, incredible. Wow. Oh my goodness. That's so cool.
Whoa.
And this is you actually recording that in the studio. I did not know this is your first day.
So that wasn't my first day. That wasn't my first day particularly, but my first day I was in the studio. They were there.
So how long did it take to record that violin track? And did you just improvise it on the spot? Or did they figure it out with you together? Or how does that work?
How does that work? Yeah.
Which one?
Like Glass Shards, for example.
Glass Shards. It's the first track that we played, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did they just give you the notes and go play this part, or
No.
Yeah.
So they gave me. So we recorded. Violins were like almost the last thing that they tracked. So there were the tracks were already there, and then they were like, okay, we want violin on this track, this track, this track, and then they gave me a bounce, and then they're like, go home and like try it out, see if you get anything, and then like come back. And I'm like, okay.
Did they say they want violin because they met you and they've discovered you play violin, or they'd always wanted violin and then you happened to say, I know how to play the violin? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, they actually wanted, which is crazy because they actually wanted violin on this album, and then we
Then the
didn't even.
intern Myra turns up and says, me.
And they're like, oh, maybe
Guess who
we can
plays the
use
violin?
you." Yeah, but my boss at the time was very nice. He kept like telling them like, you should use her, like you should ask her to play. So like I think he's a big reason also why I managed to get that opportunity. Yeah. But so I went home, went to actually another friend's studio, like space, and then so my friend Jeffrey in Singapore, he also does a lot of string stuff. At the time, I believe that he had not more knowledge than me, unlike strings that was not strings. So I asked him for advice, and that solo was me like messing around in his space and then like asking for his advice a lot too. And then I came up with that. So we came up with that line. I sent it over to Wormrot, and then Wormrot was like, "Oh yeah, I think this is great." And then we're like, "Okay." Then I re-recorded that line again at the
Wow.
studio. Yeah,
So what you have just described sounds like hard work, dedication, professionalism, and definitely skill, which now leads into something we love here in Dear Future Grandkids. Not your actual skill, but do you have a pointless skill? Please tell us that you do. I mean, you do everything so well. You must have a pointless skill.
I'm very good at watching TV.
How can you be good? How are you good at watching TV as opposed to just watching TV?
I can sit like for hours if I had no work.
That's what people do when you watch TV. I can watch TV as well when I have time. My wife just watches, like, we use the term box sets, but obviously it's no longer box sets. It's just on, any streaming network. So why is that a pointless skill? As in, like, how many hours can you sit through if you're not working?
Yeah, like I can sit the whole day.
You can sit the whole day? Wow.
Yeah, that's why I say it's a pointless skill. Like, I love TV since a kid, so I can just sit there and like.
Okay, I'm going to ask about then your watching habits. So when you're sitting and binging for like how many hours, do you try to finish a series, or you just jump and you flip? You just go into whatever that tickles your fancy?
No, I'll probably be watching a series. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
is there a particular genre you like, or you watch?
I mean, there's Korean drama always, but
Korean dramas? No wonder, because Korean dramas are like 1 billion episodes to finish one season or one series. That's why. Because they all move so slowly.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I realized that I have so much more time when I don't watch TV. Like, I obviously I didn't have a TV in my house in Boston for like the longest time. So for 4 years, like, I hardly watched TV. I was like, damn, like, I have so much time. And then and then whenever I go back to Singapore, I'm just stuck in front of the TV. So that's my pointless skill. I feel like it's not easy to sit at the TV for the whole day.
Yeah, that is a skill. And do you have snacks, drinks, hydration, all pre-planned before you sit down for a mega TV binge?
Yeah.
Or like I have a friend, and she's so lazy when she gets into a TV series. She has like this broom, and she won't she won't actually get off the couch to actually go and get. She just has this broom, and she just uses it to try and grab stuff.
Joking,
like
really?
A pack of chips. Like,
really?
Yes, if she drops something, she honestly makes every effort not to move off the couch.
Okay, that is a skill. That is
or
a skill for sure.
Just the makings of a very lazy person.
Well, we talk about talent a lot on the show, but let's hear it for the pointless skills out there. I think there's a lot to be said for a completely useless, completely pointless skill, and that's a good one, Myra. We love it.
Yeah, definitely. Round of applause there for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, we want to hear a bit about your family now. Tell us a bit about your childhood. What was little Myra like growing up?
Little Myra. That's me.
Oh, there you are. That is little cute Myra growing up.
I think I was a pretty expressive kid. And because my mom was an English teacher. So she would speak to me constantly when I couldn't speak back. She said people would think she's crazy because she's just talking to a baby in the pram. But yeah, she would keep talking to me. So I was a very talkative kid, I think. I have gotten less talkative over the years.
And this is a photo of you. You started playing the violin at a very young age and performing at a young age, right?
Yes. I don't actually remember when I started. Like I don't remember my first lesson. I started when I was 2.5, which is like according to my mom, because
Oh,
I
that's
don't
young.
remember. Yeah,
2.5.
I
How
mean,
does
you
one
can't.
even pick up a
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. You don't have any coordination. You can barely
yeah.
hold a cup of water at that age,
I
right?
think I started on a sponge. Like I held a
On a
sponge.
sponge.
Like you just hold the sponge and then you just like, wee. I'm
Oh,
playing
okay.
nothing. Yeah. And yeah, I was too young. No, I was actually too young to start.
Mm.
I think the youngest age to start was 3. In a group class, I started using the Suzuki method, which is like where you
Oh,
learn
yes.
by ear first, right? Yeah. Um, but
But
yeah,
you rapidly gained success. Did you enjoy it, or did you feel forced at the beginning to learn it?
Mm.
I think I just didn't want to give up. I don't know
Wow.
if I enjoyed it, but I was just like I just didn't want to give it up. And then I think at this age, like where you see the photo, this was I was 16 at the time. 16, but no, I was 15. 15. Um at the time. But I think by this age, around like 13 to 15, it was probably the only skill I had. So I was like, I can't give up now.
Oh, I
Why
see.
why would you say that? The only skill you have? I mean,
Oh,
at
I think
15, see, we just, most teenagers are just discovering, I don't know, just their
just
favorite
just go
genre
off
of
the internet.
music, or
Go off
yeah,
the
the
internet
internet, or
is success,
dating or something
right?
like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I think I was also part of the youth orchestra in Singapore, the
Mm.
SNYO, and it was a very nice environment where you could grow, but it was also a very professional environment. They like treated they wanted to the students at the time or whoever was participating to 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 feel like they were in a like a orchestra, like a professional orchestra. So they treated us like that. So maybe that's why, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sounds like the professionalism that you've
Mm.
gained, growing up doing lots of things, right? Like being
Hmm.
suspended if you didn't coil your cables correctly at Berklee, and from being in this orchestra which set really high standards. It sounds like it's really set you up.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for sure. Very
Oh,
appreciative.
that's really wonderful. And are there any particular life lessons that you've learned from your family that you would pass on to future generations?
The one that comes to mind would be my dad would always ask me growing up if something happens, like if I bumped into something or I fell down or like if I did something wrong, something messed up basically. She'll ask me, oh, in Singlish, he'll be like, "Will die?" So it's like, are you gonna die?
Are you gonna
And then
die? Yeah.
and then and I'm like, no, won't die. Then he's like, okay, then it's fine. Then it's
Move
just
on.
yeah.
So
Then
it's
they just
just,
move on.
yeah, just move on, like, toughen up in that sense that,
Yeah.
it's yeah.
So
That's good words to live by. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's if it's not life and death, move on.
yeah.
Nice, nice. Now, Myra, do you have your phone on you?
Yes, I do.
Yes, nearby. Good. Now, as part of the show, we want you to scroll your phone and then see if you could leave a message to someone special in your life, someone meaningful in your life that maybe you don't always speak to regularly, but they mean something to you.
Mm.
So, like, this could be an opportunity. So just, scroll through your phone, and then when you're ready, just leave a voice message on it, and so that everyone can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I say who I'm sending it to?
It's up to you. It's totally up to you. You can say it if you want, or you can just
Oh.
leave the message, and you don't have to tell us who he or
Ooh,
she is. Yeah.
so mysterious. Okay. Hmm.
That's
Well,
what we like to do.
yeah. The reveal later on the show.
Hello. I just want to say, I know we don't speak a lot now, but I'm very grateful for all your guidance in at the start of my career. I think all the knowledge that you imparted to me was definitely very important, and until this day, all the people that you brought into my life are still like helping me to grow right now. So even though you're not so involved directly now, your impact still lasts a lot, and I'm still very grateful, and you're always in my thoughts. Thank you. Okay, bye.
So sweet.
Oh.
I'm sure whoever picks that up, and even though they haven't heard from you for a while, will be very moved to hear that message.
So, I mean, back in the day, obviously now that doesn't apply. Is it fair to say that that was a long distance call to someone, or are we talking about the same area code?
I think long distance. Yeah.
I see.
Jen.
I see.
Like
Jen.
digging.
Yeah.
What? Showing my age.
I mean, I can just say who it is.
Go on, tell us who it is.
Yeah, tell us.
I was recording it for my my first violin teacher. Oh, not my first, but the teacher that taught me for the longest time. So she taught me from when I was in kindergarten, like 5, to before I left for Berklee, all the way.
Wow, all the way. So
in touch.
10,
Kept in
10
touch
over
since.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah. I think our dynamic is such that I don't speak to her regularly. Like, I really appreciate her, and I have like so much respect for her, but it's just like I don't speak to her very regularly, so it's difficult for me to like express appreciation. So I'm grateful for the Dear Future Grandkids show.
Oh.
And we're going to edit up, and that's going to be our promo for the show. Every highlight reel that we ever make for Dear Future Grandkids.
Myra, you
heard
just,
it here.
Yeah,
Dear Future Grandkids.
you heard it here, endorsed by Myra. Myra, you're so sweet, you're so kind, you're so talented, and thank you so much for being on the show. But before we go as well, how would you like to be remembered? I mean, I know it's just the beginning of your career, but in terms of your career as a person, like, how would you like to be remembered?
I think I would like to be remembered as someone that is genuine, like that means what they say, and like means what they do. Yeah, I think it's difficult to express that, and sometimes people might not really feel that, but I definitely hope to work towards that, at least now and like always.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'll be an amazing legacy.
I
Yeah,
think so. Yeah.
you're on the track. You're on track. All right, Myra, just thank you so much for taking the time. I know it's we're all in 3 different time zones, but thank you so much for taking the time to be on Dear Future Grandkids for today. Now, before we say goodbye, before we close the show, and we like to call this a lovely video time capsule that we do. Now, before we put the lid on it, what would you like to say to your future grandkids?
I'm looking at my notes. Haha.
Oh, you just made Ange really proud. Really, really, really proud.
I love people who take notes.
She could not be happier or prouder now. Okay.
Okay, I looked at my notes. Dear future grandkids, hi, this is Myra, your grandmother, I guess. I am currently 20 years old, turning 21. That means that I have been young before, and I have done cool things as well. But I hope that I hope that I'm not sure how naggy I am as a grandmother, but I hope that you will still love me and that I feel your pain. Um, that yes, but I hope that you will pursue your dreams and not let anybody dissuade you from that, even if it's me. And yeah, don't give up. Be smart about it. Don't be dumb too. But yes, that's all I have to say.
Oh, Grandma Myra, you are clearly going to be the coolest grandmother ever. I really hope the technology lasts so that you can play this message to your real future grandkids.
I know, and
because that was just so cool.
it's so cool, and also, you know, acknowledging the fact that it's also a very difficult sort of thing to say and a question for you, because you're only 20 years old turning 21, so to even think that far ahead and you're able to articulate that for your future grandkids is just really lovely.
So sweet. Myra, we're really grateful that you agreed to say yes and to appear on our show today, even though you're in the middle of moving and getting your life sorted out in LA. And we also want to thank our viewers for joining us. We have been so terrible at being consistent with getting the episodes out. And, you know, we just leave you hanging all the time. But thank you so much to our viewers for joining us. We really do love you. We read all your comments. Do send us a line, you know, like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff that people tell people to do on this sort of thing.
Yes.
But Myra, before we say goodbye, where can the audience find out more about you?
So I'm on Instagram. My Instagram is @_the_beat. You can search up Myra Choo. It should pop up as well. I also have a website. You could check me out there. It's www.myrachoomusic.com. Very simple. Just Myra Choo Music.
Perfect.
Yeah, but that's where you can check me out. And if you would like to collaborate or like speak to me just about music or like moving to the US, feel free to reach out anytime.
That's really sweet. I see, this is all about what the show is all about: creating a legacy, connecting people, helping one another. And now you never know, someone's just going to be inspired by this and connect with you to talk about music, and maybe more so just how to put cheese on ramen, or maybe play on a track for Wormrot and what's grindcore, or at 20 years old working on a Disney TV series She-Hulk. Just, you know, just minor things in life for a 20-year-old turning 21-year-old. You know,
the most major one is the ramen. Please contact
the most
me
major
about the ramen.
Oh, Myra, you're really sweet. Thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to everyone for watching Dear Future Grandkids. Once again, I'm Jen, and that's Ange. We're missing Percy. We'll see you back soon with him. But again, for today, Myra, thank you so much. Our wonderful guest, Myra Choo, in LA, in the US. Thank you. And thank you all again. See you next time on Dear Future Grandkids. Bye.
Thanks, Myra. Bye.
Thanks for watching.